The speed of change is accelerating daily. Our world is becoming increasingly complex, and it is full of uncertainty and stress. We continue to face unprecedented and urgent challenges. We're surrounded by chaos and stressors that never stop. We are tasked to perform outside of our familiar zones, both in our professional as well as our personal lives. This, of course, means we need to adapt. But the circumstances that make adapting so important also trigger fear in our human conditioning. When we're under stress, our brains are wired to react in ways that is often steeped in fear, anxiety, and old habits. This leads us to resist the needed change and default to reactive behavior and old patterns, the very patterns that we actually need to change, which, needless to say, is not good. As leaders, this is grave. Leaders have an enormous influence on the lives of those they lead. Leaders of companies, churches, communities, and your own family. When leaders trigger fear, when leaders signal stress, when leaders get stuck, their teams, their parishioners, their organizations, and their families also get stuck. That is why, as leaders, it is imperative that you stay calm, that you keep your confidence, that you remain steadfast. How do you do that? How do you remain calm amidst chaos? How do you control your responses under pressure? How do you stay focused, confident, and present? First, I will tell you what doesn't work: telling somebody to calm down, particularly if she is Latin and she's your wife. No, remaining calm amidst chaos is developed from self-mastery. It's something that you have to work on and plan for before the proverbial shiitake hits the fan. There are 3 parts to this. We'll use a mountaineering framework for this, okay? Life is like climbing your personal Mount Everest in life. Right, Mark? The 3 parts of this. Number 1, build your base camp. Number 2, anticipate and prepare. Number 3, crisis response. Let me take you through them quickly, okay? Number 1, building your base camp. This is the foundation that you build that sets you up for success. No matter what happens as you go out into the storms and make your climb, you will do so ready, and you'll have a base to retreat to in order to get regenerated. There are 3 essentials to have in your base camp. Number 1, your routines, your morning routine. How you start your day will dictate your whole day. But you already know that. You're here, as you should be, first thing every morning. Number 2, your evening routine. How you shut down your workday and transition to your family. How you wind down your night and prepare for excellent sleep. And number 3, your midday routines. How you reset and refocus yourself throughout the day. Stretch breaks, clearing your mental calculator, deep breaths to recalibrate. And B, your DMO, your daily method of operation. Do you have a personal operating system? One that has you operating in a state of high performance? If not, get yourself into insane productivity. We'll teach you one in there. And then C, recover. Recovery is essential for sane high productivity. It's not about time off. It's about revitalizing, regenerating, and refueling for your time on. When you are tired, you are more vulnerable to stress reactions, derailing this entire operation. Okay, that's your base camp. Now, number 2, anticipate and prepare. Once you have that base camp solid, now you want to anticipate and prepare for all that might go wrong when you're out from that protective custody of your base camp and you're trying to scale your mountain of success. You want to identify your triggers, those things that trigger an adverse stress reaction in you. It could be a who, a what, or a when. Who typically triggers you? What typically triggers you? When are you typically triggered? The first step of self-mastery and regaining control over yourself, and thus the situation, is awareness. In moments of high stress, where have you not exhibited the calm that you desire and everybody around you needs from you? You know those moments when you wake up the next morning going, I really shouldn't have bitten the head off of so-and-so, and things like that. Look, we've all done it, and in hindsight, we feel like a jerk. Identifying your triggers so that you can anticipate and prepare in advance is critical to containing your calm. Then what you do is set your intention. If you know a trigger point is coming up, decide how you want to be and show up and behave in advance. I often take a beat or 2 before engaging in a meeting, in a conversation, or an exchange to envision how I want to show up, how I want to react to the things that might come at me. This intention setting completely changes how I'm able to act and react, when otherwise I might have been subject to my primordial lizard brain fight or flight response system, which is never good in dealing with my team, my family, or my neighbors. So you have your base camp secure, you have anticipated and prepared for those sticky trigger spots. Finally, it is simply better navigating the inevitable and unpredictable crises that will arise. Number 3 is better managing your crisis response. Here's all I can tell you here. Train yourself to take a beat. Don't react. Don't respond. Not right away, at least. If in a discussion and you can feel your trigger being tickled, just say, I'll have to think about that, and change topics. Or I'll say, hey, let's just pin this discussion for now. We'll come back to it later. If it's over email, text, or otherwise, just do not respond in the moment. Do these 3 things. Number 1, breathe. Take a few deep breaths. Number 2, leave. Leave it for a while later. 3, walk. Go take a quick walk. Clear out the adrenaline that might be trickling through your veins. Later, when you come back to it, fully oxygenated and adrenaline free, you can respond with calm. And hey, I know all of this is easier said than done. I wrote this guide because I was screwing up. I was watching myself react and stress respond in ways that were not the EQ leader, right, Maggie? The EQ husband, right, wife? And the EQ friend that I aim to be. So I wrote this for myself to recenter, rebalance, and regain control over my calm, cordial, and centeredness. And it has worked so well that I decided to share it with you this morning. Now, you confess. Take out your Darren Daily Journal and assess, where do you need to rebalance or reinforce? 1, building your base camp of routines, method of operation, and or recovery. 2, anticipate and prepare for your who, what, and when triggers so that you can set better intentions. And number 3, your crisis response, better managing your response amidst chaos. Share your plan to improve so that you can better lead with calm through chaos.
Hey there, Allie from the A-Team here. Well, I wanted to take a moment and follow up on something that Darren talked about in today's mentor session. So he mentioned his insane productivity program. Now, if you are an alumni of this program, congratulations, because you are well on your way to mastering your daily routine and achieving high performance. Now, if you're not yet a member, what are you waiting for? It's time that you invested in your future and joined thousands of others on the journey to becoming insanely productive, fast, and doing it all sanely. Now, Darren has given me a special link to share exclusively for those of you who are ready to take the next step and join the Insane Productivity Program. So just click the link below and let's get started on this exciting journey together.